Producer Trent Luckinbill has confirmed that Sicario 3 is happening, but it seems to be stuck in development limbo, with no release date in sight just yet. In an earlier interview, Josh Brolin shared his excitement about the project, revealing that Taylor Sheridan has already finished writing the screenplay. Brolin said, "It's very much at the forefront of all of our minds. It's been written, and we think it deserves a third one." There's even more to be excited about, as Luckinbill has teased the possibility of Denis Villeneuve returning to the director's chair for the third installment. With the screenplay ready and big names potentially coming back, fans can still hold on to hope that Sicario 3 will deliver another intense chapter in the franchise. On the other hand, Josh Brolin recently shared some thoughts on the much-anticipated Sicario 3 Capos, offering a mix of optimism and caution about its progress. In a candid update, Brolin revealed that the project is moving closer to becoming a reality, though there are still a few pieces to the puzzle that need to fall into place. While there isn't any concrete news just yet, it's clear that the creative team is deeply committed to ensuring the story is compelling enough to justify moving forward. Brolin expressed his appreciation for producer Molly Smith's dedication to the project, highlighting her determination to bring the film to life. He emphasized that the team is taking their time to ensure the story lives up to the high expectations set by the previous films. As for the creative leads, Brolin noted that director Chris McQuarrie is no longer attached to the project and acknowledged some uncertainty regarding Taylor Sheridan's involvement. However, he remained hopeful about the future. Here's what Brolin had to say. "They're very much focused on wanting it to happen, but we won't let it happen until there's a story interesting enough to want to spend that kind of money on it." With the team's dedication to quality storytelling, fans can remain optimistic that when Sicario 3 finally arrives, it will be worth the wait. Sicario is easily one of the most impactful action dramas of the 2010s, and its sequel left a solid mark too. But even with all the buzz over the years, Sicario 3 Capos is still a no-show. The original 2015 movie followed a task force taking on the Mexican drug cartel, led by CIA agent Matt Graver and the enigmatic hitman Alejandro Gillick. However, the big twist reveals that the mission isn't about dismantling the cartel, it's about controlling it. The 2018 follow-up, Sicario Day of the Soldado, brought Matt and Alejandro back together. While it didn't quite capture the same love as the first film, it laid a strong foundation for Sicario 3. The first Sicario was a hit with critics and audiences, pulling in $85 million on a $30 million budget, enough to get the sequel greenlit. However, the sequel didn't land as well, partly because Denis Villeneuve didn't return to direct. That said, Taylor Sheridan stayed on as the writer, keeping the story just as gripping. Despite Sheridan's involvement and the announcement of a third film, the highly anticipated threequel has yet to make its way to screens. Fans are still waiting to see where this tense, morally complex saga heads next. The Sicario series revolves heavily around Benicio del Toro's hitman Alejandro, so it's almost a given that he'll return to lead the Sicario 3 cast. Josh Brolin is also expected to reprise his role as CIA operative Matt Graver, continuing the intense dynamic between the two characters. There's also a chance that Elijah Rodriguez could come back as Miguel Hernandez, given his involvement in the second film. Emily Blunt's Kate Mercer, who was the central character in the first Sicario, didn't appear in Day of the Soldado. However, recent producer comments suggest that her return would be pivotal to Sicario Capos. That said, Blunt has openly admitted that she hasn't heard anything official about the project yet. Fans are left wondering if the threequel might finally reunite the original cast or introduce new twists to keep the saga fresh. The working title for Sicario 3 is Sicario Capos, which translates to bosses. This suggests that Matt and Alejandro could be taking on the heads of the Mexican drug cartel, raising the stakes even higher. Additionally, the story might explore Matt's fallout from his actions in Sicario Day of the Soldado, where he defied CIA orders. This could lead to him being removed from his position, adding personal consequences to the mission. If Emily Blunt returns as Kate Mercer, Sicario Capos could take an intriguing turn by pitting her against Matt and Alejandro. Kate might be determined to expose their illegal activities and their questionable methods of controlling the drug trade, creating a tense conflict. With all these potential storylines, the third installment promises a gripping continuation of the Sicario saga. Isabela Moner, who played Isabel Reyes in Sicario Day of the Soldado, has also shared her thoughts on potentially returning for the third film. In an interview with THR, Merced revealed she'd be open to reprising her role, though there are no concrete plans in place yet. Despite that, she had nothing but great things to say about her time working on Soldado. Merced mentioned, "Absolutely, I would be very open to that. We spoke about it, and obviously things change, but I think we spoke about Isabel Reyes going into the witness protection program." If you remember, in the previous movie, Josh Brolin's character defied orders to take Isabel to the U.S. and place her in WITSEC. Merced admitted that she's not sure how Isabel could be involved in the new story unless the writers found a way to bring her back into the mix. But despite the uncertainty, she expressed her enthusiasm, adding, "Soldado is still to date one of my favorite movies I've ever done, and it was one of the most unique experiences I've ever had. It was insane." While it's unclear how Isabel's storyline could fit into the direction of Sicario 3, Merced's willingness to return suggests that if the story calls for it, she'd be ready to step back into the action. If she does reprise her role, it could add an interesting dynamic to the plot, especially considering her character's past and her connection to both Matt and Alejandro. As fans eagerly await Sicario 3, there's hope that the upcoming film, tentatively titled Sicario Capos, will make up for some of the missed opportunities in Sicario Day of the Soldado. One key issue with Day of the Soldado was the absence of Emily Blunt's character, Kate Mercer, whose moral compass provided a crucial balance to the darker, more ethically questionable characters like Alejandro and Matt. While Soldado was still a solid film, it's hard to deny that Blunt's absence was felt, especially since her interactions with Benicio del Toro's Alejandro and Josh Brolin's Matt added a unique dynamic to the first film. However, there's reason to believe Sicario 3 could right the ship. Recent updates from the film's producers strongly hint that Blunt, Del Toro, and Brolin are all in talks to return. This could mean a reunion of the original trio, which fans are hoping will bring the same intensity and depth that made the first film stand out. In a previous interview, Josh Brolin confirmed that a script was being worked on, which keeps the momentum going for those excited about a possible sequel. Blunt's absence in Day of the Soldado was a storytelling choice, as the sequel aimed to explore the lawlessness and moral corruption of the drug war without the presence of a character who questioned those actions. But now that time has passed, if Kate were to return in Sicario 3, it would be fascinating to see how her character, likely much more jaded after her experiences, interacts with the corrupt officials and the morally gray world around her. Bringing Blunt back could be exactly what the franchise needs to recapture the emotional depth and moral complexity of the original Sicario. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to stay updated on all the latest movie news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. By doing so, you'll stay in the loop with all our future updates.